you're also part of the tech industry, which
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would probably be surprised at that. But I do think that, being part of like a, a startup kind of thing in the tech industry, there's a lot of overlap between like the artist mentality and tech startup mentality. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree that there are some intersects. Like if you had a Venn diagram and the two circles overlap,
Yeah.
there is a place where the two worlds do meet. But there's enough other, not necessarily polar, but opposite worlds aspects that then represents diversity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right. Like typically, if you're in tech, it helps to be an engineer, and it probably also helps to have a background being a nerd. It's very seldom
But
would you be. Go for it.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of nerdy ass artists. I mean, think of it like this, like, man, to be just a good dancer, I mean, damn, you gotta be really invested in fucking dance. I mean, like watching videos, like doing super crazy research. I mean, like for reals, like learning from all the people before you. I mean, I would definitely say I'm a freaking break dance nerd. And
yeah, for sure. Junkie, whatever the word you want to use, obsessed, true student,
Yeah. So in a way, I mean, in some kind of like STEM kind of job, I would imagine being a nerd it just means you're doing that same thing to something else. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm obviously an engineer, and so I'm like a super nerd about like math and stuff. So like,
right.
I do think that translates to dance. I mean, I think that might be why I'm a nerd about dance too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And nerd about really a lot of shit.
When you were crafting your, and we're going back to 23-year-old Kurt, 22, 21-year-old Kurt. So if I'm 20, you're 21, because I think you're a year older than me. If you remember how you dressed, and then how your hair was, and then the type of stuff you were working on, you were going through a lot of phases about, because you had your way, but then you were struggling through, how do I get to that next level? And a lot of your choices through practice, which is where the changing happens, was kind of like that engineering sort of broad philosophy side coming through. Like you were aspiring a lot to, you were taking the broad things of like Bruce Lee, and then you broke it down in ways you can interpret it into your dance. And then it was about flow. I remember it was about how you connect to different moves. It was a critique also about what was going on, and always about originality, right? So like that hodgepodge of like originality, and which is really an artist thing. I just remember witnessing you doing that for your own craft. And of course, when you're building that with engineering in the real world, you want to be able to stand out from the rest. So I know that at least with tech and business and career, what I was able to bring from being an artist was, sort of like the battling experience and confrontation, and not being afraid to speak in meetings and approach, right? Battling definitely helps individual just get ready for the moment. Whether you're going to win or not, you're going to be present. That's really what it's about, right? I did struggle though translating from computers, towards computer science from the arts. They probably may not share a lot in common, because let's be real, software languages, how hardware works, and electronics is not really how colors on canvas.
It's a language. It's a new language, really.
Yeah. So when I talk to other colleagues, they often, in the very beginning, when I was at Google in 2013 for the Moonshot project for Google Glass, and I was recruited because I was a dancer. Actually, that's how I got in, because they wanted brand ambassadors who was cool, but I just wanted a fucking job. So I said yes, of course, right. And so they were like, "Oh, well, you can dance." So I was like, sure, whatever. But I remember when I was talking to other folks, they could never understand me because I was so abstract. In the way I talked, never precise, never got straight to the point, just all over the place. But I used that opportunity at Google to at least just observe sort of the excitement of what other people were excited about. They wanted to create new industries, they wanted to try. And of course, there were things that were not at all familiar from the art world into that. Basically, there was new stuff I had to learn, like fundraising. A lot of the sort of elite people who were behind the scenes, there were board directors of Forbes, just a lot of wealth, that kind of culture. And so you if you're in Silicon Valley, you get a lot of that sort of insight into those wealth things, because if you have your own startup like I do for myself, I'm starting to go into a lot of meetings with folks who are from that world that otherwise you would not get typically through art. However, though, challenging that, I do have this artist friend and we chat pretty often. And when it comes to buyers and it comes to selling really expensive things or trying to touch upon that, those same buyers who purchase art for thousands and thousands are also the same type of family wealth that also invests into companies too. So my worlds are starting to intersect through the main objective, where the same crowds of folks who typically have a family office for investing also sometimes invest into art because that's their tax write-off.
Yeah.
It's just weird how more recently it became a full circle, but the journey in between, they are so disconnected.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Man, that's interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please click like if you liked it, or dislike if you thought it was whack. Either way, make some noise in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. And please subscribe if you're down with that broke boy and or broke girl shit. Thanks. Peace.